In a quiet town filled with cobblestone streets and old trees that whispered in the wind, there lived a little girl named Sara. She had bright eyes full of wonder and a heart that seemed too big for someone so small. Sara lived with her loving father in a beautiful house near the edge of town. Her father was a kind man who traveled often for his work, but whenever he was home, he filled the house with laughter and stories. Every night before Sara went to sleep, her father would sit beside her bed and tell her magical tales about brave knights, hidden kingdoms, and princesses who never lost hope, even in the darkest times. "Remember, Sara," he would say gently, "a true princess is not someone who wears a crown. A true princess is someone who stays kind and brave, no matter what happens." Sara believed every word, but one day, everything changed. Sara's father had to travel far away, to another country for a very important business journey. Before leaving, he decided Sara should stay at a well-known boarding school where she would be safe and receive a good education. The school was a large building made of gray stone. Tall windows looked out over a quiet courtyard, and the halls echoed with the sound of footsteps and strict voices. The headmistress of the school was a serious woman who believed discipline was more important than kindness. When Sara first arrived, the other girls stared at her. She wore beautiful clothes and carried herself with a gentle confidence. But Sara did not act proud or arrogant. Instead, she greeted everyone warmly. Very soon, she met a shy young servant girl named Becky. Becky worked hard all day, cleaning rooms and carrying heavy buckets of water. Many students ignored Becky, but Sara didn't. Sara smiled at her and asked about her day at night. When the dormitory lights grew dim, Sara would gather the girls around her bed and tell them wonderful stories. She spoke of enchanted forests, golden castles, and brave princesses who helped others even when they had nothing. Her stories made the girls laugh and dream. Even Becky would stand quietly outside the door just to listen. For a while, life at the school felt almost magical, but far away trouble was growing. One cold morning, the headmistress received a letter. Her expression changed the moment she read it. It was terrible news. Sara's father had passed away suddenly during his journey. Worse still, his business had failed, and all their money was gone. The moment the headmistress realized Sara was no longer wealthy, her kindness disappeared. She no longer saw Sara as a special student. Instead, she saw a burden. Sara was moved out of her comfortable room and into a small, dusty attic at the top of the building. The warm blankets were taken away. Her fine clothes were replaced with rough work clothes, and Sara was told she must work as a servant. If she wished to stay, each day became harder than the one before. Sara woke before sunrise to clean the hallways. She carried heavy buckets of water. She scrubbed cold floors until her hands ached. The attic room, where she slept, was small and freezing. Sometimes, the wind slipped through cracks in the roof, making the room colder than winter itself. But even in the darkest nights, Sara remembered her father's words. A true princess is someone who stays kind and brave. So Sara held on to her imagination. When she was hungry, she imagined a feast. When she was cold, she imagined warm fires and soft blankets. When she was lonely, she imagined she was still a princess inside a hidden castle. One evening, Becky climbed the stairs quietly and knocked on Sara's attic door. In her hands, she held a small piece of bread. "I saved this for you," Becky whispered. Sara's eyes filled with gratitude. Even in the hardest times, friendship still existed. Across the street from the school stood a large house that had been empty for many years. One day, a wealthy man moved into that house. He was quiet and mysterious. Sometimes, he would sit by the window and watch the school building across the road. He often noticed Sara working in the cold courtyard or carrying buckets up the stairs. Something about the brave little girl caught his attention. He began asking questions. One night, after Sara had gone to sleep hungry and exhausted, something wonderful happened. When she woke up the next morning, she gasped. Her attic room had been transformed. Soft blankets covered her bed. A warm fire burned in the small fireplace. Fresh bread, fruit, and hot tea waited on a small table. Sara could hardly believe her eyes. It felt like magic. But it wasn't magic. The mysterious neighbor had secretly arranged for the gifts to be delivered. He believed no child should suffer such hardship. Night after night, small surprises appeared in Sara's room. Warm clothes, delicious meals, even books filled with stories. Yet Sara never discovered who was helping her. One afternoon, the mysterious man finally learned the truth. While speaking with one of the school workers, he heard Sara's full name. It was the same name as a dear friend he had once known. Many years ago. Sara's father. Suddenly, everything made sense. The brave little girl working as a servant was the daughter of his lost friend. He immediately went to the school and demanded to see her. When Sara entered the room, she looked tired, but still carried the same gentle kindness in her eyes. The man smiled warmly. "My dear child," he said softly, "you have been very brave." Soon, the truth was revealed. Sara no longer had to work as a servant. The man invited her to live in his home, where she would be cared for and treated like family. For the first time in many months, Sara slept in a warm bed without fear. But Sara never forgot the difficult days she had endured, and she never forgot the friends who helped her survive them. The first person she invited to her new home was Becky. "No one should live as a servant if they don't have to," Sara said with a smile. From that day forward, Becky became part of Sara's family. The once lonely house across the street filled with laughter and warmth. And Sara proved something very important. A true princess is not someone who owns castles or jewels. A true princess is someone who stays kind, hopeful, and brave even when life becomes difficult. Years later, people in the town would still tell the story of the little girl who never gave up. Because no matter how dark the night becomes, those who keep hope in their hearts will always find the sunrise again. And that is the story of Sara, the little princess who never stopped believing.